Don't settle. Don't settle. Like, it's so clear to me, and it really is crazy. And you might know or not know me and think I'm crazy or not. But it's like since I started this video challenge and made the decision that what I'm doing is helping others to thrive in life, to find out what they're here for. And not too long ago, that would have seemed crazy to me, but now it makes perfect sense. And incredible things happen. Like I've already shifted a few people, and this is not an advertising. I'm just sharing the story to across an important point that applies to all of us. The problem, and so yeah, and I started working with people over the phone, and I'm just reaching out to everyone and anyone that wants my help. And of course, at the moment, it's mostly people that I know, and I'm just giving what I can, and it has incredible stuff has happened. Like I think the other day I talked already about the friend that I'm shifting out of, kind of I'm giving up on my business model. And I talked to someone else who's always struggling with relationship. I gave another friend advice. He just wanted to advise how to create a website, and then ended up, motivating to kind of take his business he's thinking, but take it a level further. And he said, like, wow, this wasn't about Squarespace. This was about, yeah, not even beyond motivation, like kind of just seeing where it could go. Because if we set ourselves out to say like, oh, I'm gonna try this and let's see how it goes, well, then it's gonna go exactly like that. It's just gonna go because that's how you much put in, that's how you show up, etc. But if you say, oh, this is gonna be, the next. It's going to be whatever. It doesn't need to be the next super big business, but when you're convinced you're building something and you kind of already in the future in your mind, then that's where you're taking it, right? Because you live and breathe it. And so what I meant is, don't settle means like, if you're not in a place where excited about what everything about your whole life, then that means don't settle with that. Don't accept it. Go to the next level and think about what do you want in life, and like how do you want to feel about life, etc. And then go get it. And the trick here is not to kind of use your what you're told where you need to be, and what is in your what you're kind of rational, maybe you have certain ideas of your wealth or your, the house you're seeing in front of that, and all of that will come, but you have to follow your intuition, your feeling. As long as you're kind of rationalizing, we all know these situations, right, where we want to do one thing, but then our mind kind of says we should do another thing, and then we end up going for the safe option. And uh, and then but we're never really quite happy with that. And I mean, you can really easily check in with yourself. Just look at how much you smile, and if you're not any sure how much you smile, then ask other people for an honest opinion. Obviously, you always want an honest opinion, even if it hurts, because it's helping you to kind of move to where you need to be, right? Otherwise, you're just lying to yourself and stay in your own misery. Anyway, just check in with how much you smile and how easy you laugh and how you can love about yourself, and that will just tell you where you are in this journey. But because I think for some of us, it's like they've been in a bad place, or in a place they didn't want to be, and they kind of they didn't want to be, and they just accepted it, or we just accept it, and then we don't know anymore how amazing everything can be. And I'm just at a new. I didn't even know about this level a month ago, like literally before I started this video series. And but now everything has clicked and it's so clear. And so when I say don't settle, is there's something in you that wants to do something, and that is really good at something. It's really the overlap of what you're passionate about. But this is again such a technical analysis. So for example, there's this Japanese concept ikigai, which is, and I think I mentioned in another video, but it's the overlap of what you're passionate about, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what the world pays for. But again, this is kind of a mental model. It doesn't work like that. You cannot think it through and then kind of look for the overlap. That's what I've been trying for a while. And what I realized is you just have to go again inside and listen to your feeling, pulls you towards it. You have certain interests. You kind of shine, and you just, certain things get you really excited. And I'm not talking about substances, or again what I talked about in the other video yesterday, sex, and these things are all great, but I'm talking about something that no matter, you could be quiet in a room, you're just excited. So for me, that is helping other people. As crazy as it might sound, and as crazy as I might come across, I just have too much energy. I can't even sleep anymore. Like, I used to sleep like easily my 8 hours, which is what I figured out. 7.5 hours is what my body needs, because if I don't put an alarm, it's always 7.5 hours. But now I fall asleep late because I just have too much energy and was working on my website, etc. And like, there's always something to do now, or being on calls with people and helping them helping them to figure stuff out, and you just keep coming, right? If you show up, then people will if you show up in an honest way, then people will want your help. And obviously, if you can help them. But anyway, coming back to, so, and then I wake up really early, and I'm like, oh, this was only 4 hours or 5 hours. But then I just get up and I start going, and then I start my morning routine, and it's like I have this energy level that's just incredible. I never ever had it in my life. So, and also this kind of devotion and like conviction what I'm doing, and the craziness with I'm communicating here. This is all because in my mind it made a shift, because I suddenly everything clicked, and also everything in my life that I did, I could say, oh, I could have started with this 20 years ago. No, I couldn't have. Like, I needed to go through all the experiences, the good and the bad and everything, to become exactly that person, and with that skill set to do what I'm doing now. And what I'm saying is, like, you all have that, and you don't want to settle for anything less than doing that, because not only will you then live up to your potential, but that will be incredibly rewarding, because whatever skill you have will be giving people something, and you will get what you across. You could be an artist, which gives them, or a musician, or you could be a coach, or you can be a lawyer. I mean, it can be really anything, but you just need to really feel it, and it's going to be something that is about giving others. That doesn't mean for free or so, but what I'm saying is, like, it's about it's about, you will know once you found it. It's like when you're in love with someone, you just know, right? You don't know how you got there exactly, but you know. It's the same with this. You just know there's something that just pulls you towards it. And when you come to moments where you need to decide going there or going what is kind of rationally, what makes sense, what kind of aligns, maybe if you think about work with your CV, like, that's the direction you don't want to go. That's the easy one. That's the easy one because that's what you know, that's what's certain, that's kind of safe, that's what everybody else would be doing, that's what society tells you, etc. But you need to go the one that is at first more challenging, that looks more risky, more uncertain, maybe financially less rewarding, but that's the one, that's what you're meant to do. And then everything else comes as a result. That's the amazing thing. We're chasing all these things in life. We're chasing love, relationship, wealth, health, and etc. And by fighting what we're meant to do, we're creating all this friction. That's why we're unhappy. That's why we're suffering, because we're doing something that we don't like. We hang out with people that we don't like. We can't be ourselves. We don't express ourselves fully. We always have to pretend to be a certain way because that's how the people around us are. Yeah, because we're disaligned with all of these things, because we're fighting where our soul kind of wants to go. And I don't, whatever you want to think about concept of soul, but it's just this feeling, inside. You would, when people say, oh, I would have loved to kind of work with children, to take a cliche, or kind of, whatever. We all have these, I think all of us have these ideas, if money wouldn't matter, what would you do type of idea. That's exactly, well, I'm not saying that fantasy is specifically what you should do, but there's something where your feeling pulls you towards. And that's what, now the beautiful sun came out, so I'm going to come here. That's exactly where you should be going. And it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be the most rewarding journey. And maybe you're not ready yet, maybe you haven't found it yet, but then just keep looking. That's what don't settle mean. Don't settle. And I'm going to try to find this. Steve Jobs says it's beautiful I think it's in his 2005 Stanford commencement speech, where he tells 3 stories, and one is about not settling. And now, I always loved this always gave me shivers, his speech. And now it makes perfect sense. I totally get what he meant. So, like, don't settle. Keep looking, and you're going to find it. And just stay open. Like, don't think about what should I do, but kind of look for the signs. People are going to come into your lives. They're going to say to you things. You know when you are at your best. You know what you love doing and what gives you so much satisfaction. This is the direction you should be taking in your life. And that ultimately becomes your vocation, and then your profession. And you're going to be able to give so much to others, and as a result, you're going to receive so much, and it's going to be the most incredible life. And then everything falls into place: love, relationship, wealth, everything. And then really, 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 life will never be the same again.